All right, guys, welcome back. So Palantir, I don't remember when I talked about this one, but I'm sure I was talking about this one somewhere on here or somewhere around here, saying that possibly $100, maybe. We went as high as $84, and now from its highs, stock has pulled back, and it has pulled back 20%. So pretty much correction territory. Do you like this discount, 20% discount? I mean, it's for everybody to decide, but I want to take a look at option activity in general and what's happening with insider activity, where I know a lot of people have posted that insiders are dumping, but just to, instead of going into individual orders who have sold how much, we know nobody's buying this in terms of insiders, and they have been selling since August, where this stock had in September $1.34 billion dumped by insiders in September. October, 400 plus million. In November, they sold almost 1 point something trillion, 1.3, close to 1.4, $1.3 billion. And then right here in December, another 400 million, and 2025 just started, and they started selling again. So this is insider activity. So, and when it comes to like looking in general, like I like stocks that pull back towards their 50-day moving average, and it is, when stock is in an uptrend, it is a good area to be bullish and to basically long the stock. But I'm not really fan of the stock in general with these prices. I like to trade it as a breakout, but by looking at what's going on in general with overall market, we have market basically in an indecision mode where either it's going to take a hit and it will be pretty bloodbath, and all of these growth names might get hit a little bit more, and Palantir, why not? If it cracks this 50-day moving average, it can come down to these $60 levels. It can come down a little bit more, $8. We have a gap. I don't know if it's going to fill this gap, but it has an earnings gap from somewhere around 41 to all the way to 47-ish. I don't know. Is it going to fill? Is it going to drop all the way to these levels? Well, we'll have a look at it once it cracks these levels. But so far, the only clue I can have is, since I trade a lot of options, check the links below for all the socials. I'm putting together options, little options course too, but I trade only options. So, and today's stats, which is tomorrow, is off. So by looking at this, by looking at the stats of just today's, I'm just looking at today's data, 395 total calls, 368,000, both in thousands, puts came in. So pretty much put to call ratio, it's not significant. Nothing is outstanding crazy. A little bit more calls. But if you take a look at the delta, this is what gives me a clue. What contracts traded at the bid? What percent of contracts traded at the asking price? You can see 46% of these calls that traded from this today's volume are calls between the delta between 0 to 20, which means those are pretty far outside of the money contracts. Usually those are sells. People just do covered calls, spreads, and they just take advantage of, and they just let the contract expire worthless and collect that premium. But if you take a look at the puts, it's a little bit different. 32% at 0.20, 32% at 20 to 40, and then 23% of that volume that came in, pretty large volume actually, 41 to 60. So which means, yeah, there could be some put buying. Let's take a look at orders. And then what I do is I come take a look at the filter out by the biggest orders that came in just for today and see what people are doing. So stock, technically speaking, sitting at the support. We might see some sort of a relief bounce going into the next weeks of pretty big option expiration. But on Friday, we have employment situation as well. There are going to be a lot of reports coming out within it, so payroll and all that stuff. So somebody's playing, maybe it's a buy, maybe it's a sell. I'm not sure. So far, by looking at the orders, anytime I see red fills, it could be sells. $75 calls. And then if you take a look at the puts, I mean, there are some puts, 65 puts, 75 put for February. There is also June $60 put. June, this is 2026 actually. This is pretty expensive. So this is definitely not a sell. When you see a contract that is a leap that has 1 year and 1.5 years and it is purchased as a put, it's usually not a sell. People, if they have an intention of buying certain asset, they sell naked puts by pretty much saying, okay, so at this price, I'm happy to own this asset, but in the meantime, give me a little bit of a premium. And pretty much they collect the premium and they get assigned if that stock price trades below that strike. But June 18th next year, that is pretty big put. 1,000 contracts at $13. What is it? How much is it? Is it like 1.3 million? Something like that. For summer, another one, $40 for this. But calls that I'm seeing that are being thrown here are ultra short dated, which means either it's just traders like me who are just wanting to take advantage of the pretty much maybe relief bounce and just trading it ultra short term. But I'm not seeing longer dated calls so far among these large orders that came in. There are a bunch of puts. June 45 put. Next year, okay, this 5 put, that doesn't make sense. But okay. March this year, $60 put. January 55, June 45. There are some February 80 call. Okay, this is a spread. I'm not sure what's the next leg of this. They could have sold a put and buy a call. Not sure, but it is a spread. But overall, just by glancing, I don't want to go through every single order, but just by looking at this put to call ratio, I can say option market today was slightly bearish, longer dated, but shorter dated contracts looking a little bit bullish. So maybe we're going to see a little bit of a relief bounce, but anytime stocks go below their 5 and 20-day moving averages, I like to watch them to the downside. But 50-day is a trend watch. This is an uptrend. It hasn't traded below that 50-day ever since that fluke in August. But since summer, it hasn't traded at its 50-day moving average, actually, this stock. So this is first time it's testing it, this yellow line on my chart, which is 66. So I put an alert. Let's see what happens with 65. But I'm interested if overall market starts taking a hit, maybe to play this name to the downside. But so far, this is what I'm watching. I also keep an eye on maybe MACD. Maybe I'll throw it in there. I'm not seeing any sort of like a negative divergence to play with those people who are going long 75 calls. But we'll see on Friday. I mean, since it's expiring next week, I mean, I can just follow it daily. And if there's going to be some sort of a momentum, I can just go in and out. But so far, yeah, 20% down. Is it a discount or is it a buy? You tell me. So this is the divergence I wanted to show. MACD divergence, stock started going higher, and then you saw the correction. So that's the video for Palantir. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.